Hi, it's Neil here from Wedding Help NI, and we're at the beautiful Kingfisher Hotel here in Temple Patrick today, and it's all about DJs today. We're joined by some of the country's finest wedding DJs. You can introduce yourselves, lads. You're sitting there going, my goodness, what's going on here? But we're all good. We know where we're at. Introduce yourself, starting with Scott.
I'm Scott from Chelsea's Creations.
I'm Conor from Erne Wedding DJ.
And I'm DJ Ryan A.
Perfect. I'm loving it, Ryan. You just have there we go. That's a cool FM just coming on straight away. So it is. So it is all about DJs today. This is episode 56, and we're going to try and hit into some of them questions. I suppose starting off, how did you all get started in DJing? Like yourself, Ryan, how did you get started in it?
Well, I had a love for DJing back when I was 13. I used to go to an under-18s disco, and I just used to admire the DJs. I just admire what they were doing, especially the music as well. So, growing up, Kevin and Perry Go Large, the film, I just loved the soundtrack, and the music just done something. It just gave me this real good feeling, and I said that's what I want to do. And these DJs were playing the music in that club, and from there I was just like, I got to get a set of decks. I got to try this.
What age did you start? What age were you start?
13, I got a set of decks. Done my first party at 14, and I done a wedding when I was 15. So
very good, very good. What about yourself, Conor?
Similar story. Always enjoyed music. I think it was about 14, 15, asked for a set of turntables. These things, when they arrived, didn't have a clue how to use them, so just started playing about with them. And again, it was the tracks of the Kevin Perry Go Large, the chance music.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially coming from Armagh originally, where you had one of the biggest nightclubs in the north, the Erne, or the Met. So we used to go see DJs in there. You had Fergie and Judge Jules. So just enjoyed it, and then realised that whenever I was 16, there's not too many places that would let 16-year-olds in. So we used to run our own rave nights in one of the local bars, and just pretty much went from there. Then was asked to do birthday parties, and then asked to do weddings. And once I sort of got a bit of experience behind myself at the weddings, that's what sort of took off from there.
Scott, what about yourself getting started on with DJing?
Pretty much the same as Ryan. Me and Ryan grew up in the same area.
that's right.
And as he says, the underage discos, they weren't underage discos, they were under 18s discos. Yeah. And then when I got up a wee bit, round about that, I shouldn't be saying this, but that 16 age, there was a nightclub down in Newton Ards.
That's the same one. That's the same one we're talking about, the Knightsbridge.
Knightsbridge in Newton Ards.
Where was the Knightsbridge? Was that,
it was just right at the foot of Scrabble Tower.
Yeah.
Right.
Just as you were heading up the Scrabble Tower again.
Amazing. Yeah.
What a nightclub. In fact, I actually seen an older DJ post about it.
That's right, recently, yeah.
Yep, during the week there, and I actually commented on it. It was if you didn't go to a Knightsbridge when you were our age, you were frowned upon. It was the place to be.
I know, it was brilliant.
But before that as well, there was a local place still going as well, the Ice Bowl. Used to have under 18s discos. Brought some then, what we call now old school dance. Would have been big names back then. And they would have brought them to the Ice Bowl. We'd have been, as Ryan says, 13, 14. Same as Ryan. I was 14 when I got my first set of decks. I didn't start on turntables. I started on a pair of CD decks. Then, and it wasn't even Pioneers, it was a set of Citronics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looking back now, compared to the kit we use now, you wonder how you used them. But and then first gig, I probably same as Ryan again, about 15 in a local bowling club. It was a mate's sister's birthday party, and it just stemmed from there. I did fall out of DJing though for a while.
Did you find that hard, I suppose, as well? You all mentioned dance music and how dance music was such a, I suppose, the starting point. And I suppose with you, it's still, like obviously you're a DJ in Cool FM and stuff. And Cool FM would be more charty and I suppose a bit dancey too.
Yeah, you have to learn to adapt over the years, but it's funny when you say that because when I done my first party at 14, there was 2 tracks out that they wanted to hear, and one of them was Who Let the Dogs Out, right? By it was the Baha Man or something, and Shaggy It Wasn't Me, and the mum had phoned my mum and she says, will you make sure your son has those 2 songs? But I'm sitting with all these like trance classics on records and I'm like, oh, all right, we're going to have to go and get them, but over the years, you just have to say to yourself, they're the old school classics. I still love them. I'll still play a few of them at events, but I've learned to adapt over the years as I get older, And
do you find that too, like even, I suppose Armagh as well is more similar to what I am. I'm I'm Tyrone Derry border.
Yeah.
So and I suppose country music and all was massive for me growing up.
Yeah,
And
especially.
even whenever I started out, I started out singing before I got on the hypnosis, and I would have been doing like singing gigs where it would have been very much country, like a country 2-piece band stuff.
Yeah.
But then you would have had to do a disco maybe afterwards, and it would have been like my sort of disco, like you were chatting about dance. Clubland would have been maybe the peak of mine. Like I wouldn't been digging deep where you boys would have been really, going on the trance music.
There's a lot of Clubland classics, and they're still sort of in and around there. But there's a few trance classics. So they were just the ones,
I suppose what I'm trying to say, I found it really easy, like to jump, because I sort of knew all the, the Shawati Waddies, the Bay City Rollers, all that sort of stuff. That at
Showing
weddings,
your age now, Dale.
That's true. But at weddings, you know yourself at weddings that sort of, especially if you're doing the full night, that sort of 4 or 5 hours DJ set.
Yeah.
You're hitting on a few of them at the start. Did you find that hard to adapt onto that from the background? I suppose each of you answer that in your own way,
For me, no. As I say, still to this day, I would class myself as a dance DJ through and through. Yes, we do weddings and stuff like that, but it comes with experience of doing weddings. You learn to read the crowd. If I go in and the crowd's there and the majority of the crowd are 70s or 80s babies, you're not going to play 2000s dance for them. You're going to play the music they grew up listening to. You learn what people like and what people don't like. Well, that's the way I see it anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I have to agree.
I suppose, going back to saying, coming from Armagh, now living in Tyrone, most weddings is like what we were like when we were 16. They want a bit of country and older stuff at the start. They want a bit of clubland at night, so they do. But I suppose coming from learning dance music, you learn the pitch of songs and the tempo, and you just can't. If somebody says to me, "Oh, I just want dance music all night," I'm like, "That's 5 hours. That's over 120 songs. You're not going to dance."
Your guests
for 5
don't
hours.
have the energy.
No. We almost do it in waves. We play maybe 4, 5, 1 type of song and mix it slowly in. And as Scott says, you learn what works. So I don't know where you could throw in something completely off field that it's just a sing along, but it's not a dance track, and that just calms them down. It brings some of the ones that were sitting down onto the floor again, and you work it back in again. So you do.
You see, the thing we have nowadays is people can get an insight into other people's weddings now through social media, and the DJs and whatever they're doing can clip together the best parts of the night, and then somebody says, I want that as my night, and you go, but I'm here for 4 hours. It will happen.
And do you know what? Like, it's a wild thing to say, and I think that's where social media can be awful, because
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
We're
We're all part of this because we do it ourselves. Like,
course.
we take the best part of our shows, we throw it on, and it looks fabulous. Like, and you're going, my goodness, I want to book that. I need that for my wedding.
I know.
But sometimes, your crowd's a big part of that.
It's what they say is the highlight reel, isn't it? Where you're taking your best bits. Like people, I will only obviously post a video when the dance floor is full. The dance floor will have people on it, but there's sometimes they do drift off, and it used to beat me up when they all went, and I went, all right, okay, but you can't expect them to dance all night. They will. Some people will fade off. Some people will come back on. If it's not their tune, they will walk off. I've been there myself as a guest, and I've went, not really my vibe, and I'll walk off. But in the same hand, people see the highlight reel, and they see people dancing on chairs, glow stick buttons going. That's part of the night. It will happen. Just let the DJ be the DJ and make that happen at your peak.
I suppose as well, there's something to be said there, because couples are seeing that 3-minute reel you put up or that 30-second reel you put up, and that's what they're seeing, and they're saying, well, if I do dance music all night, I'm going to have that.
Yeah.
But your audience don't have the energy to do 4 hours of dance music. You'll burn them out like well in about an hour.
Yeah.
I don't even think it would be a case of not even having the energy. I think it's a case of your crowd. You're going to have half your wedding there that is over the age of 40, and they don't want dance music all night.
I know.
So it's not. It doesn't work anyway.
I think that's what we would always have a chat with couples, regardless. The week before the wedding, a timeline is great. And explaining what's going to happen and how the first dance we're going to try and get everybody up. We don't want everybody sitting down watching you do the first dance, because you need to soak up the energy. But after the first dance, we don't want you to sit down either. There's a few things we're going to do. Then we'll play your golden oldies up to the buffet. During the buffet, they're going to sit down again, so we'll try a few sing-alongs during the buffet. and then build it up. And I think if you explain that timeline, because you don't see that in highlight reels, you don't see after the first dances whenever the photographer might want to take them outside for a sparkler shot, or when the buffet's being served and the auntie wants to get a cup of tea. So the timeline definitely does help manage expectations as well.
And I suppose it's you're pleasing, you're there to please everybody as well.
That's right.
And that's where we're, and do you know what I say? It's so much in the group. You know, where couples might say, "Oh, can I send my DJ a full set list?" And or we're, we really like metal music. We want metal music a full night or something like that. And do you know what? That's great that you like that, but your audience is going to be, your audience aren't going to be that way all.
As a private thing too, we would get that in messages as well. Can I send you a playlist? We have a playlist. And I say, by all means, send me the playlist. But what I will say is, this might be music you like, but your aunties, your uncles, your cousins who are also at the wedding, do you want them to leave early because of the music that's being played and it's not to their taste? You want everybody to have a good night and enjoy it. You want everybody to talk about your wedding. So it's getting that balance. I understand what you're saying. It's your day and it's your way. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But in my experience, here's what I think we should do.
Off the back of that, absolutely. And yes, you can turn around and say, here's 3 songs that I really don't want because it might start an argument. Okay. Right. Definitely. Yes, absolutely. We will say no to that. However, what I've always said is think about the time, the money and the investment people put in to come to your wedding, right? And you're going to stop their favourite songs from being played. They're there to let their hair down as much as everyone else. So, they invest in getting their outfit and their makeup and their hair done to be part, even if they're just an evening guest, they're there and they invest money. And they bring you a few quid in a card, let them have a good night as well and don't restrict them.
Definitely.
I bet the dance floor looks good on everybody.
And it looks brilliant, yes. As long as people are enjoying themselves, let the DJ be the DJ and let people enjoy themselves.
I think a lot of brides do trust the likes of the professional DJs. That, we're giving guidance, so if they give you a full playlist, I'd be like, right, that's great, we can play this at the start of the night, play this during the buffet, some of the slower songs. Some of these songs might sound good if you're in your car driving to work, but not at a wedding.
Exactly.
And it's just, we're educating each other as to how we plan the night out. We just don't turn up and say, right, the same 60 songs we played at last night's wedding, which was mental, is going to work this week. It doesn't work, so it doesn't. So.
And I suppose as well, the difference as well in a full night DJ set, or like a lot of ones will ask, oh, can I get away with a DJ all night, or do I need a band? Do I need a band and DJ? What's your thoughts on that sort of stuff? Like a full night DJ, definitely as possible.
Yeah, you're kind of doing the band. Obviously, you're doing the band and the DJ's job then, because you're still, if you're on after the band, you're coming in about 11 o'clock and you're going that part of your set up. You're not going back in the music. Although if they haven't heard something that they want to hear and the band hasn't covered it, absolutely we'll play it. We'll play it later on. But yeah, I mean, it's your own. If you feel that a band is right for you at the start, I love working with all the bands on the road. If you feel that that's right for you and you feel that's going to be a great start to the night, and if you have the money to pay for both, and then absolutely.
I'd go for it.
Yeah, we find as well a lot of couples, they feel like they almost have to have a band because that's the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
So I suppose one of the new services that we all do ourselves is we can do the meal entertainment, or as desserts coming to an end, the band setting up, we can have a bit of carry on with the guests for an hour.
Yeah.
The band comes in, the atmosphere is buzzing, they do the first dances, they play for 2 hours, and then we'll take over and DJ. So they like that aspect as well. So they do.
Yeah.
I suppose that's good as well for breaking up a night. If you don't have a band, the thing of doing, a bit of entertainment sort of would be.
Yeah, it's getting more popular now too.
Well, yourself, you do like a bingo.
I throw a wee bit of bingo in, a few party games, and you just see it's all like a trend at the moment, isn't it? And people are loving it. You gotta be trendy like the rest of them, and go out and do it. And I mean, when it comes to that, people see like I've clipped the best bits of one of the parties, and they're like, I want that. And But you also say too, as long as you've got the right people on the seats as well.
I suppose that's a big thing
big
too.
Factor to it. I find that with mealtime entertainment as well.
Yeah.
It has to be the crowd that's up for it and wants to engage. There's nothing worse as a DJ perspective of going in and giving your all at the mealtime entertainment, because it's fun, it's energetic. You do 100% need the crowd to participate. And see, when there's half of the crowd there that have no interest at all, it's a hard gig.
It definitely is, and there's certain venues it won't work in. Certain venues where there's no space, or they make them leave the room to turn the room around, and then
can be tricky.
They're bringing them back in, and you're only starting then. And so I think that's going back to where you do the vetting with the couples and you have a chat with them. And if they want to do it there, you talk to them. Well, tell us a wee bit of information about some of the characters at the wedding. A wee one-liner about someone that's sitting down at the crowd that they're a bit tight to bear around the drink. You throw that in, you get a bit of crack at them, and then once you settle everybody, you can coax one or two of them up, so you can do. But as Scott says, every wedding's different.
I think funny that something that Chris says a lot is managing expectations.
Yes.
And I think that's funny. We were chatting about it the other weekend, and he says we've got to manage expectations. I thought that's brilliant. You know, we do that a lot, but sometimes, when I'm thinking, even weddings that I've done, it might be a midweek wedding, like a Tuesday wedding or something, and a lot, like if you're 70, come buffet time, a lot will drop out and stuff. And I suppose, booking the likes of Meal Entertainment, the DJ and stuff, you need to figure out, well, how long, is there a peak?
Yeah.
Because I think a wedding like that, by 12 o'clock, you could be left with 30 or 40 guests.
Yeah.
Do you call it a wee bit earlier? Do you do stuff like that?
The stuff that you've said you'll do on the night, you have to be quite fluid with the times as well.
Aye.
Because, if we're saying, right, we're going to, after the buffet, it's very hard to get people back up because the buffet in this hotel is served in a different room. So for us to try and get them back, and we'll do this here, maybe they miss their missus game, but there could be a time where literally everybody's away before the buffets come out, so sometimes you switch it up.
I think it's great when you do get around a lot of venues is to take note of what way a venue runs as well. And that way, once your bride and groom they approach you, you've got the confidence to say, now, are you aware that these guys put the lights on at buffet? They'll maybe serve the buffet on the dance floor and maybe do that queue up sort of thing. Everywhere's different, so you need to adjust to every venue,
But I think as well, even, there are smaller weddings you go to, and I don't know, we've all done this. Well, no, I haven't, and I'm sure you're the same. There's weddings you go to that, you might be booked to 1 o'clock, but sometimes you are better, if you have a really small wedding, think about your timings. Think about, do you need a DJ for the full night?
Absolutely.
If you're a Tuesday wedding, if you're a Wednesday wedding, even a Thursday wedding, people's going to be getting up for work maybe the next morning. They might not be there the full night. They could be gone
I think
at
that's
10
important,
o'clock.
what you're saying, because I've noticed it more so last year. Obviously we haven't got into this season yet, but last year more so. Wasn't too bad off the back of COVID, but the back end of last year, I found that, as you say, midweek weddings, a lot of people now financially can't afford to take the next day off work. As Brian says, they've spent money on their hair, their dress,
hotel rooms
and
as well.
whatever else they've spent
They
money
might
on
not
to
be
get your
staying
wedding.
and stuff as well.
They just can't afford to take the next day off work. So as you say, they are leaving at that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock mark after the first dance. There were some weddings I done, as you say, last year, come 10 o'clock, you were left with maybe 10 people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing as well, and that harps back to the managing expectations. Sometimes you're better going to peak at 12 o'clock rather than sort of flogging this along to 1 o'clock. Now, it's a wild thing to say, but flogging it along to 1 o'clock and the atmosphere just be awful.
But you're saying there too about the atmosphere. I was actually going to say that next. There's sometimes I've been at weddings where people have left and you've been left with maybe 15, 20 people. But see, for the last 2 hours, 15, 20 people haven't left the dance floor.
And do you know what? And that's very true too. That's very true. And it's something, but it's definitely something on the night that you should look at.
What we do sometimes is if we notice that it is a midweek wedding and there's people leaving, we'll say to the bride and groom in the phone call beforehand, if it does get a bit quieter, instead of us trying to finish off the night as usual, the centre of attention, and there's nobody about, we'll do it an hour earlier. We'll still play on if people are about, but we'll just sort of do the finale where we'll get these together in the middle of the floor. And then, as you said, the last 15 that stays on, because the bride might want to go to bed herself sometimes. You have 15 people left on the floor, and they're the ones that's going absolutely crackers, so they are the ones
I actually done a wedding there just after Christmas, and complete opposite. There was 50 or 60 guests still there. It was a small enough wedding, and the dance floor was buzzing. Everybody was up. They were dancing, carrying on, and next minute the bride just went, we're going to bed, and asked us to stop the music.
Right.
It's time for everybody to go home. We're going to bed now. And that was it over.
Here's the thing I will find about if you've got a tough enough night where people are on and off the dance floor, as long as you can keep the bride or the groom on the dance floor, they feel a need to be on the dance floor. So it's like,
and I suppose that's another thing as well. Two couples, you know, on your wedding day, try and be on the dance floor. You know,
enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, by
as a couple, enjoy it as a couple.
But I think if the couple's on the dance floor, it really helps the whole thing, because I guess if they see you're enjoying them, they'll come on too. You know, I done a wedding recently, and the bride and groom, do you know what? They were just fantastic. They were amazing. It was just a very great atmosphere that they created. And do you know what? They could go and say, "Oh, Dale, you done a great job," and because like they had me booked, I'd done the show and I'd done the DJ and all, and they could say, "Oh, that was brilliant what you done." It wasn't what I done. It was really they created such an atmosphere that everybody just wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
So from the show, it was really good. The DJ, they didn't empty the dance floor, and it wasn't a massive wedding, but that was so important. The bride and groom just made it because
but I find that's the difference between as well. Conor touched on it there. A professional DJ. There's professional DJs who do this full time, and then there's DJs. Let's be honest. And what Conor touched on there too, he says a week before, 2 weeks before, we're in contact. So our homework actually starts 2 weeks, a week before your wedding. Yeah. So we're in contact with you. And a wee trick, I don't know if the boys use it, but I do. I would ask the bride and grooms, or brides and grooms, whatever it may be, what's your favourite song? What song when you were growing up was your favourite song? Note it. And as Ryan says, if the bride or groom's on the dance floor, if the dance floor is quiet, a wee trick of mine is playing this one especially for the bride, one of her favourite songs. I've got that in my memory because I've asked her that question. You're sure fair to get her on the dance floor, and then as Ryan says, if the bride's on the dance floor, her bridesmaids are going to join her, whose friends are then going to join them, and before you know it, your dance floor's back active again. The homework starts that week, 2 weeks before your wedding.
They definitely do play a big part on the whole evening, and you tend to forget to enjoy yourself. I recently married myself, as you know, and ours was a midweek wedding. We found it started drying up around 12. We finished at 12:15. Happy. It's like we'll go to the residence bar now and we'll go and finish off the night.
And do you know what? That's something as well. And I'm sure you knew that because you know you've done so many weddings.
I felt it in the room. I just said we're all done.
And that's a big thing as well. You know, don't think you need to go to 1 o'clock. You need to go to 2 o'clock. You know, don't be scared. You know, to say to your DJ, well, you know, I think we've.
I do a lot of on the night. I chat them on the night. Throughout the night, say, you know, we'll try this here, or you know, this is going well. We'll keep doing this, or listen, there's a couple of ones that enjoyed jiving earlier on the night. We'll put on 1 or 2 here after the buffet just to get them back up. They look like they might be heading home soon. So it's just having a constant conversation throughout the night, you know.
And I suppose that's the thing as well. By professional DJs, they'll be able to do that. You know, it's not like get on the. And I'm not being funny. Like I know, whenever I started out 14 and 15, you went in and you were pleasing yourself, and it wasn't that you didn't. It wasn't that you just didn't know. Do you know what I mean? Like so, like I remember at 14 or 15, as I say, I was sort of playing with a country band, but it was a sort of mix-up band. And like I just went on with a Clubland CD then and was ready to go, you know. And I thought, well, sure, if I like it, everybody else will like it
too. So you grew up in the wrong area. You should have grew up in Belfast.
I know.
See them country boys when it comes to jiving in the Clubland, they know how to do it.
It's me and Scott were like country. No, you tell me. And most of the time, back in the earlier days, you didn't have it.
No, so I actually have a couple of others. Another DJ from up your neck of the woods, and he texts me all the time. Here, lad, I'm doing a country wedding here. Tell me 10 good country songs. So we are quite good as a community. We would always talk to each other as well. Because if I had to do a drum and bass, I wouldn't have a clue. I'll be talking to one of the boys. You know.
But you gotta reach out for their vibe too.
Did you notice as well, I suppose, areas? You know, so. Like as a Belfast wedding, like I always think it as I think a Belfast wedding's different from like a Tyrone wedding. Do you know what I mean?
I love a bit of old school dance.
Like definitely is. It depends where they're from, and then we are doing a lot of weddings where a lot of couples have met in Australia and they come home to get married. And they've lived over there for 10 years, and the music scene is very different over there. But again, it's educating and saying, you know, this is the day for everybody that's come here, and you know we can play a wee bit of each. Genre and mix it up, so but definitely, there's not as much country music played at the Belfast wedding as there would be elsewhere.
No, definitely not.
And there's no better feeling when you look out on that dance floor. You're at the peak of your night, and the cogs are turning, and you're like, "We've got them."
Yeah,
There they are. And that's it.
But I think, as I say, that's where a professional DJ
Yeah.
will win every time, because a professional DJ will know where to go, and that experience shines through, because you've done your days of sort of pleasing yourself and doing these jobs, like you know.
Exactly. The thing, I don't know, you guys probably do it as well, but I notice sometimes you're playing a song and you see a couple leaving, instead of just waiting, because you were saying about, if I played, say, off Spotify or something like that there, you can't mix the song out into another one.
I know.
Yeah.
Where I've seen myself play a minute and a half in a song, I'm seeing one or two people leaving, I'm thinking, I'm going to mix in an 80s song here, so you could play in a club dance song, and they literally turn their heels and they come back on the dance floor. So there's no one how to keep them there whenever they are starting to filter away.
But you said there about mixing too. The beauty about technology nowadays, the kit and caboodle that's out there, and I see transitioning.
Absolutely.
It's been compared to the vinyl days. It's so handy.
You can mix country and clubland together, where you wouldn't have tried that in vinyls.
And
years
you've got
ago.
full access to everything now as well.
Yeah,
where we had to make sure that we either had the latest now compilation album. When we were going from vinyl, was just too tricky to be taking vinyl to a wedding, so you had your CD decks, and had to make sure you had every song, make sure you were up to
Trying
date.
to read the CD covers to see what song that was.
And I often wonder how
black.
I done that. I was like, you knew that was like your big Bible, wasn't it? And you were like, where's that song? Way over here.
I done a wedding about a year ago. We were doing the hypnotist show.
Turning the sleeves.
I know. Probably longer. I done a wedding maybe it might be 2 years ago, maybe even longer. It could be longer. It was in Bangor, and I was doing the hypnotist show. The DJ, and he was using CDs. It was just like a 6 foot table, just full with CDs.
Just loads of them.
I thought back at this, I haven't seen that in years, but I remember being that person, you know. Sort of go through them too, like, you know.
Oh yeah, and I often wonder how I done it. And you had to pretty much let the full 3 minutes play before you find the next song.
And I don't know about you, but I was never organised.
No, I could be.
Still not half the time.
When it came to CDs, I was never organised. The CDs were always read on. What was on them? It wasn't even the sleeve, because then you were probably downloading them.
Your first sleeve was ABBA's greatest hits, and then because it was A, and then you're Bon Jovi.
The biggest killer was somebody's asking for ABBA and you're promising me, I'll put that on for you. Take out the CD and there's a big scratchings.
I was going to say, I remember they used to jump.
They used to jump. Yeah. Because the system has all changed now. They've got anti-shock, obviously, and all these things. But it used to be these big coffin discs you had, big cam
Trying
coffin
them
discs.
in as well,
And the way you had to rig things up.
Tiny joggles with a wee finger
That's right.
indent in them.
But they had no anti-shock in them, so you got Cotton Eye Joe on there, everyone was stomping the floor.
They were jumping.
That's how we cut the cloth. We're able to do these things. We know how to react if stuff happens.
Exactly.
We've learned the hard way, so we have.
What about talking about that and things happening? Does anybody carry a backup with them?
Yeah.
I now do, because I've had some moments.
Spur speakers, spur laptops.
Well, I'm the same. I would use I use primarily a Prime 4 Plus.
Yeah.
But I also carry the Newmark Pro Mixstream.
Yeah.
And then also I have DJ on my phone as well that I can plug in. So I have 3 backups.
I suppose, how far in advance should you be booking a professional DJ? What's your thoughts on that?
The scary thing is it could be 2 years now. The way some things are going, people are getting in quick.
I actually have some bookings at the minute for 2029.
We have as well. We've had to literally just add an extra tab on our
on
our spreadsheet.
You just well, you're more high tech than me. I have the back of the diary. So
it's all up here sometimes.
It's boxes.
I need to have it everywhere. Like it's scary.
Key dates as well. It used to be years ago the 2 bank holidays in May always booked out first, but I find every weekend in May now. May is one of the busiest months for weddings, and all of our bank holidays over the next 3 years is fully booked from DJing side of things. Now it depends on the package. If they booked us for an afterband DJ, say in Fermanagh, and someone wants to do meal entertainment in the Slieve Russell, it's only 40 minutes distance. So we know I can set up say a Manor House that day. The DJ aspect, we have a second PA system. I can go do the meal entertainment and then be back in time. So I'm still not bringing speakers in when people are dancing. It's already been set up. So it all depends too. You can get a lot of last minute things, but it all availability. The earlier you get in there, and it's not just asking for availability, it's putting a deposit down.
The more chance you have.
We don't take anything else
so
on.
Important. Very, very important. Deposit is your main thing. Just get that down. Throw a couple of quid down. Seal the date. You know,
We as a company are probably a bit different because we're a bit of an all-rounder. So
Yes.
brides are coming to us and couples are coming to us and they're booking their decor, their photo booths, sometimes their cars, and putting the DJ in with it. So they're basically booking us for their whole day.
Yeah.
So we are getting it. I do get just DJ bookings on their own. They're very few and far between, if I'm being honest. It's usually a package they go with us because they know they're getting basically their whole day sorted.
It's great. It's like one umbrella with you,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, and it's great. It's great to offer all that.
We have a package that it's got very popular. Well, that's pretty much everything you need. That's your decor for your ceremony, your decor for your hotel.
Yeah.
That's your photo booth, meal entertainment, master ceremonies, DJing, photo booth, spark machines. They might come to me and say, well, Conor, we don't need a couple of centerpiece. We'll say, well, the price is still the same because you're booking us out for the day. We're just not a vendor for the day. We're almost like your wedding planner. You're almost like your psychologist, your shoulder to cry on. Tell us anything. If you're having trouble with, a photographer, well, we can recommend somebody else that can come in. And brides love that idea that you're there and you'll do everything for them.
Yeah.
And we're not going to torch them. Say we go to a chapel or church too, and they want, say, floral meadows down the aisle. That's too narrow. We have a backup in the van. We can put them in higher stands so the bride can get down the aisle. So it's just knowing that, every venue you go to is not the same. You have to take away extra bits with you, so you do.
What should couples be asking DJs whenever they're booking? Is there a really important question you think that you should be asking?
I actually done a blog last night for the website.
Yeah.
And I think a real important question is that I don't really get asked. I've been asked actually the past 2 or 3 weeks twice. That's what actually brought it back into my attention, and I wanted to touch on it a wee bit. Can I see your setup?
Yeah.
Because I know the boys, I know what the boys' setups look like. There's thousands of pounds worth of spent on lighting, on sound equipment and stuff like that. I think the DJ setup is near as important as the DJ himself.
Yeah.
Big time. That's a big one to
And
hit on.
I'm personally never asked it. Can I see your setup?
Yeah.
No, and again, social media, you're seeing other people's setups. You're going, wow, I want that to look.
The thing is, the DJ, if you have a DJ in a band, the DJ sometimes plays longer than the band and they're centre stage for 3 hours. So you want to look appealing. Or if it's the first dance, you don't want to have someone with a table and a white cloth as the backdrop for your first dance.
Exactly.
You know, I actually, whenever I do first dances, I actually don't turn on any of my disco lights. I like to have just nice subtle lighting.
You saying that, I always ask the photographer that question. Do you want the lights on or off? But again, comes with professionalism.
It does, because you don't want, a bride doesn't want to have reds and blues and greens flashing on her dress. She just wants this nice, subtle. And then whenever the first dance is over, the lights go on. But no, definitely, as Scott said. And the other thing as well is, the DJ sound system has to be as good, if not better, than the bands. You can't rock up with, substandard stuff, because you will notice that difference. You will notice it straight away, so you will do.
Main thing is, ask as many questions as possible. We'll answer them and give you the right for your day and tailor it to your day,
I think along with this podcast, we'll actually do a wee thing maybe after, what questions should I be asking my DJ? That gave you as well, because there's a lot of food for thought, and you know what? There's so much going on out there, and it's really picking the right thing. You know what I mean?
Essentially, it's one of the most important things of your wedding.
Yeah.
Your entertainment.
Your entertainment that evening, people are going to talk about for a long time.
Yeah.
Whether it be good or whether it be bad, people are going to go away and go, that DJ was absolutely rubbish. No one was up dancing, no one was doing this. Or it's going to be in the opposite hand, that DJ was amazing. My feet are sure I've danced that much. And I don't think couples actually take that into effect, how important, it may be a band or may be a DJ, how important your evening entertainment is. It's going to be the seal and deal whether your guests stay or don't.
I know.
Big time.
Because you've got everything happens so quick at a wedding that the ceremony just goes over like that, and the food can fly in now, and before you know it, it's the part where they relax and can take everything in and talk, and we're there. And we're gonna keep it going.
There's no better feeling for a bride and groom to see the dance floor absolutely buzzing for hours. They sit back and saying this is a great night, and everybody's telling them such a great night.
Did these all do meal? Do you do meal?
I do, yes.
Can you maybe tell us a wee bit just about the meal from the meal entertainment as well? Because I think as well there's so much that at the minute, and I think just explain what exactly you're offering and what exactly you're doing.
They're all different.
They are.
That's why it might be worth sort of explaining. From your own point of view, so even just go round and explain what you do,
Conor, you're keen of meal entertainment here. You started off.
I was one from the king. Now there's a couple of other goats about now. So there is, but in terms of meal entertainment, every wedding's different. As Scott was saying, you require a wedding. We had a wedding a couple of weeks ago where the groom rang us and he was going to cancel it. But apprehensive, saying it's an older crowd, they're a bit more reserved. they mightn't be too sure in this year. I goes, Ronan, just trust the process. There's things that we do, we've learnt. We don't come in hell for leather. We're almost break the ice, go away for 5-10 minutes, go back again. And it's the anticipation of what's going to happen next. I could write out a list of what we're going to do for an hour, and that goes out the window. But as us, as meal entertainment, it's been able to, in our heads, know what we're going to change next. So I have a blue suit jacket. Anybody who sees me in the blue suit jacket knows that the meal entertainment's about to start. But my pockets are full of different props. You got buzzers, you got blindfolds. I'll not tell too much because I don't want to give too much away. But some stuff works, some doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I find with meal entertainment is I try and get down early before they actually go into the room. Because I could be chatting to the groomsmen, the bridesmaids. I could find out which ones are a bit of crack, which ones have the fear of God. If you call them up, they're going to freeze.
Yeah.
I could be chatting to someone at the bar, and they could be saying, "Oh, I used to sing in a band years ago." I goes, "What's your name?" And I'll write that down, and I know I can get him up later on. But it's definitely a thing where we want to have it. It's to stop the lull after the food, before the band or the DJ comes on.
Yeah.
And it's just to raise the atmosphere. To the point that whenever we finish, the place is buzzing and they're pretty much ready to do their dancing.
Yeah.
As Conor says, I think an important thing to touch on too is when it comes to meal entertainment, there's no script.
No.
No.
You can't go in for a script because every wedding's different. All the guests are going to be different. And as Conor says, it takes a bit of experience to run without a script. There's people that would go in and go, "Oh, what am I going to do here? What I usually do isn't working. What do I do?" And you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to change things out. As Conor says, there's maybe a list of 20 things that we could do at meal entertainment, and throughout the 45 minutes to an hour, we're maybe only going to use 4 of them.
Yeah.
Because we'll see and we'll understand what's going to work best here.
Yeah.
So it's hard to actually explain mealtime entertainment because
is.
they're all different.
And you can't shout and scream because it's not going to work. And there's some people a bit more reserved. And there's sometimes we've actually said to them, maybe just pause it by half an hour. It's a good day. Let the people go outside, have a wee drink outside. And we'll coax them back in.
Yeah.
And there's other ones where we'll do the meal entertainment during the meal. So we'll do 15. We'll invite them into the room. So it's part of master ceremonies, and that is very good. That sets the tone. We're actually inviting them into the room with the place buzzing. I like to do an icebreaker before the speeches, help out during the speeches, because it's usually the best man's given the microphone and he has to pass the microphone about, and then you see the microphone shaking, so you do.
Or the microphone's down here when we're doing all the speeches.
But they look at you because you're there.
But that's such a big thing as well. I suppose with that MC thing, you're there to prompt them. You're there to say,
But I think
take a
also
big deep breath, get the mic up close,
when the guests see you with that microphone and they sort of see you as an authority figure. They sort of look to you to then bring it in the next show or bring what are you going to do next, as you say, anticipation. Because they sort of get used to you that day and they go, right, what's coming next? What's
if we do it during the meal after each course, they'll see me floating about. Hey, when are you playing that song again? Just how long a second? You're not winning, because we would do a wee dance off and you aren't winning at the minute, you just need to just pick it up a wee bit. So you're almost chatting to them when you're not necessarily on the microphone. And it sort of gives a trust thing. And
I suppose talking about meal entertainment again too, you don't want to give too much away.
No.
Because there'll be people watching this podcast who are thinking about booking it. And there's things that I do in mine where if guests knew that it was coming, it completely ruins it.
Saying that there was a wedding we done a few months ago. And I had them all set up. So I try and get mine flowing one into another. Because you can't have them lasting too long because they lose interest. But I was setting them up for the next step. And I heard some fella, I seen you do this at a wedding last year. I goes, that's dead on. So I put the things back in the pocket. We pulled out 2 buzzers, right? He goes, right, we're going to do family fortunes. You go pick 4 people here. We'll get you up here now and do it. So you have to be able to change it. Especially, a lot of people seen you at other weddings. So one of the questions I always ask meal entertainment, how did you hear about us? Did you see us at another wedding? Oh, we did, right. Can you let us know whose wedding that was? So I go back and check the notes and say, right, I'm going to change a couple of these things here.
I try not to post any content on mealtime entertainment.
No.
Because it does give it away.
Be a surprise.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
When it comes to meal entertainment, it's their first time hearing a song as such when it gets to that. So they hear maybe like Venga Boys or ABBA, all of a sudden they go, happy days. So it's a great start, as the guys say. I added a bit of a twist on it, just threw a bit of bingo in, because bingo's really hot and happening at the minute. So I thought, throw out a couple of sheets, we got a wee bingo button. I sometimes invite one of the headers up from the, I'll ask who's the, maybe one of the bridesmaids who's mad and is very confident on the mic. They're pretty much doing your job for you,
Big time.
But as the guys say, you need the right people to create that show.
Yeah.
You know, and just ask ahead who's going to be up for it here, who's confident, and don't throw anyone at me who's going to be totally out of their depth. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes they want to maybe take the hand of a friend, but that friend could be shy.
Yeah.
But I find the people that enjoy it the most is usually the aunties and uncles that aren't on social media. They've never seen it before.
Yeah, it's
And
real.
this is class. This is
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
That's great night's crack. But as you said, it's the first song they hear.
Yeah.
It's
And
funny
lifts the
you hitting that there point, and it's one I always use the hypnotist show. Sometimes the volunteers you can nominate,
Yeah.
Yes.
well, it's this case for the hypnotist show, can be the worst people because they're too overactive for what I'm looking at, and you're looking to get them calmed down.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's the people that you would never think
No.
will take part is the best.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why it can't be scripted. It just has to
Yeah.
go with the flow.
Just go with it.
I just
you know?
keep throwing at it and seeing what's sticking, really. And
So I think we've touched on lots today, and we've got lots of great points across. I'm sure there's definitely another episode on that as well to get more across. Thank you so much, lads, for joining us. Remember, if you're getting married and you need some help, check out www.weddinghelpni.com. Thanks, and thanks, lads, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye for now.